Where's the Occupy? Well, we're not going to occupy the control room. Our Occupy Wall Street person is a no-show. Well, you know what? Looking at the picture of that kid, he may not be aware that there are different time zones. He may not be. You laugh. You laugh. All right, we'll get to a bunch of stuff then. So it looks like we're not going to have our guest. Oh, dread. All right, so that's that. Now, as you know, my big issue, of course, the economy is a big issue. And, this kid calling in now? Or is it somebody else calling in? We never know. Let the music play on. Hey, Burke, is that the guest? You're talking to the guest. You're calling him. Was he supposed to call us? If he can't even follow through on that, you're calling him. This ought to be interesting. Because, I start the show, then I go into something else, and then you get the guest on. So hang up on him. If he was supposed to call up, if the kid can't even get it together to call up, that could be one of his problems. That maybe is why he's unemployed. I think a lot of the people who are unemployed, I know this is an ugly thing to say, it's because they're unemployable. Could that be? 9:08 at AM. Yes, some people, not everybody, some people are trying real hard. But you got to check yourself out. I mean, if you can't get a job, maybe it's because you're unemployable, because you have no marketable skills. What can you do about getting them? Moving on. All right. My big issue is the wars. Whenever we, as a constitutional republic, make the decision to send our young people into harm's way, I think there better be a good reason. What is the end game? Our objectives and goals. With that in mind, now we just had Baxter Ennis on, and we have a lot of our friends from Regent University, and I take philosophy seriously. I think philosophy is very important. And I think, if somebody has a religion, that is their philosophy, and it's very important to them. All right, now we just had Baxter on from Regent University. We know it's important to him. Get a load of this. Make of this what you will. When you look at what we're doing in Afghanistan, what exactly are we accomplishing? Now, we've been told that for all of this to work, now this guy's on. Well, we can't do it like that, Burke, where I go into something else, and then we're going to go to the guest, and I got to break it again. Okay, let's go to this guy. Excellent. Wonderful. Hey, Matt, how are you today?
Oh, doing great.
All right, now, Matt, I don't know anything about you. All I know is I was talking about this Occupy Wall Street, and I was going on and on about it, and then some of the people who were listening to me didn't like the stuff that I was saying. And so they said, why don't you do some research, and why don't you find out a little bit about this Occupy Wall Street crowd? And then somehow your name came up. Now, if you could just explain to me why you are a or the spokesperson for Occupy Wall Street. Why is that?
I'm most definitely not the, but I am one because really most of us are or can be. I came from Portland, Oregon, almost a month ago. I hitchhiked up here with a friend. I really didn't know what to expect.
I don't know what to expect either. So you hitchhiked from Portland, Oregon to where?
To here in New York City.
Okay, and where are you staying?
And I've been staying both at Zuccotti Park,
mm-hmm.
On the cement floor here, as well as there's been a lot of people that have been very generous with opening up their various spaces to allow some people to sleep in.
Now, Matt, what do you hope to accomplish?
Well, a lot. I believe we've already accomplished so far. I mean, we've come together in New York City. We've created this our own society and the type that we want to live in, the type that we want to see happening here in America. All of these people coming together and having this conversation that we need to have, which is talking about all of these very big issues, such as corporate oppression,
Have you been the victim of corporate oppression?
I believe,
How so?
most of America is. Well, by owning, let's say this, 40, I'm forgetting the exact statistic number, but a very small percentage of the populace of this country owns about 80% of the wealth in this country.
Why do you think that is? Why do you think that is? What percentage of people would you say are Major League Baseball players? Well, what percentage would you say? A very small percentage.
A very small percentage.
Yeah. Could it be that the very small percentage of people who control most of the money, could it be, and I'm just asking as a possibility, because they're real smart and work harder than everybody else? Could that be a possibility?
Smarter than everybody.
Yeah. Do you think? Have you ever met? I've met a lot of people smarter than I am. Have you ever met anybody smarter than you?
Oh, of course.
Okay. So maybe they're way smarter than you and I, and that's why they have so much more money. It could be.
Yeah.
Or much more talented. I mean, should everybody be a Major League Baseball player? Everybody can't be the Beatles. They controlled all kinds of money. They made all kinds of money. It was because they were so much more incredibly talented than everybody else. They were doing something that very few people could do, and so therefore they were rewarded. Can you name an individual who works for a corporation who is being paid unfairly?
Well, I believe that there are a lot of people up high in such and such banks that are being paid unfairly because they're being paid.
But you can't name an individual. You can't name a person. You can't tell me so-and-so is being paid unfairly. It's just an overarching general idea that there is not a lot of fairness on planet Earth, and you want it to be fair.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of education that needs to be done.
Mm-hmm. How much education do you have?
What's that?
How much education do you have?
Some college.
Where'd you go to college? Where did you go to college?
I went to Portland Community College for a little while.
Have you ever worked a full-time job in your life?
Yes, sir.
What was your job?
I worked at a retail store, community customer service, and I've also worked. My most recent job was at a restaurant.
Mm-hmm. So you actually think that, given your educational background and what you know and your life experience, you can actually say that people in corporations are earning money that they really do not truly deserve. You actually think that you have enough educational background or research that you can actually make that statement, yet you cannot name one individual. Can you name a corporation? Can you name a specific corporation?
J.P. Morgan Chase.
What have they done?
J.P. Morgan Chase has done many things, but like I said, right now a lot of what we're
Matt, I'd like to thank you for taking time out of your busy day to join me. You sound like a nice young kid.
Thank you.
All right. Have a nice day, Matt.
You too. Thank
All right.
you so much.
Be well. Boy, I tell you what. Yeah. I tell you. Now, here's another one, standing up for Hank Williams Jr. I said it before, but you are getting rude in your old age. I doubt that the Marines taught you that. Obviously, you were not a Marine. You have no idea. Give me a break. I support Hank Williams Jr. I understand the English language, and I know what an analogy is. Yeah, do you know what freedom of speech is? Because he said he was denied his freedom of speech. So he doesn't even understand the First Amendment. Come on, Chuck. Maybe you like the guy. What are you wearing right now? Am I on The View? Am I on television? Hey, Chuck, pitiful. Pitiful. People aren't being rude to you just because you act like a fool and they point it out. You know, in the Marine Corps, what did I learn? Not to suffer fools with grace. Don't put yourself in a situation where you can make such a fool of, like this last kid. My goodness. I sure hope he's not representative of the future. He seemed like a nice kid, but my goodness. Man, I mean, he's their someone representing this organization, was that a bit? Put that kid on as our spokesman? He's an attendee at some junior college in Portland, and he's against corporations, and he really has no idea why. You know, having sons who are older than him, I've kind of felt sorry for him in a way. I was going to ask him, when was the last time you smoked a joint? Seriously. Sounded a little spacey to me. And I tell you, could they have found a less articulate spokesman? They'd have been better off with Hank Williams Jr.